Hey, it's Ryan with SMB. Today we're going to be installing our distance to empty recalibration module for all of the 23 and up Ford Power Strokes. So in the box, or in the bag, rather the envelope, you're going to have 2 zip ties and then the recalibration module itself here. Throw this in the back. I'll show you what this is going to look like. So you're going to get the module, which is a pass-through module right here, and then we're going to have the harness that's going to run from the module up to the gateway module, which is where this is going to plug in. So I'll show you where this goes once we get the dash apart. It's going to be a pretty quick process. You're going to want a few plastic pry tools, and then it's going to be a 7mm, I believe. We'll confirm once we get this apart. So I'll show you how to start peeling this apart right now. So below the start stop, we'll start by popping, there's a quick connect right here that you can see. So we'll have to get this out so you can get the start stop out. You can start on this side or all the way on that side. So with this lower panel loose, I'm going to put my pry tool right behind the rear of this. And that came loose. We'll work our way across. There's going to be a plug on the back of this. You're going to push down on the tab right here on the top of that, and and then remove it. And we're going to work our way around the rest of this trim panel. Like so, and set this aside in the back of the truck. That's going to show us all of these screws here. So we're going to remove these 4 7mm screws. So with those 4 removed, we're going to now remove the whole button control stack right here, which is just going to unclip. And there's going to be some clips along the bottom as well. So with that out, we'll start removing all the plugs. Depending on what options you have, you may have a few extra plugs than what I have here. All of them are going to be pretty similar. Just push down in the middle and remove. So we'll push in the middle on this one. Cigarette lighter 12-volt plug. Tabs right here. The 2 for the inverter. And then this one's on the bottom for the drive control knob. With all those out, pull this and set it in the back as well. Next thing we're going to be removing is this module. That's a whole panel comes out the module's connected to, so we're going to remove all the plugs from it. So right here, we're going to do push the tab in, slide the gray, which will release the connector. On the red next to it, it's just going to be pushed in on the top and remove. Same with the tan here. And then the blue is going to have a little tab right in the middle on the top of it. So we'll go in and push on that. Maybe easier to get this one above it out first. So we'll pull this one out by just pushing the tab down here. I'm going to use my trim removal tool. And then that one comes right out. So that tab is going to be right here on the top. So with all those plugs out of the way, it's going to show us 4 more 7mm bolts. I'm missing one right here. Don't drop these or you'll be missing one too. There's 2 on this side and then 2 over here. And that'll let us pull this whole panel out as one piece. So there's 1. Two. 3, and your 4th would be right here. So with all of those loose, you can drop this down now. You'll feel how it wants to come out. Like that. And this is going to reveal the gateway module and the plug we're going to be needing to get to, which is right here. So to remove this plug, there will be a tab right here in the middle. We're going to plug that into the bottom pass-through module until it clicks. And then on the top, we're going to plug in our new harness into there and back into the gateway module like so. Now, we're going to get this ready to zip tie it in place before we go back into the truck. So I'm going to push this back into the truck here. We've got our zip tie we provided, and I'm just going to pass this around the module and zip tie it to the back of this bracket. You don't want to cover up the right side here because this is what indexes the bracket. So with the module secured, we can now slide the bracket back into the truck. Keep all of our cords out of the way. And it's going to press right back into place, like so. So we're going to start placing our screws back in place here, and you just need to get one screw in and it'll hold the whole bracket in place with those indexing tabs that are on the bracket. And we're going to start these by hand just so we don't drop them. First step will be to start reconnecting our plugs in front here. There's going to be all of the plugs for that module. Now we're going to bring our radio controls back in and start reconnecting. We'll start over with the inverter here. The light for the inverter. 12-volt cigarette outlet. We've got two more on this side for trailer brake, drive mode, and that'll be it for this module. So we're going to work the quick connect clips in at the bottom first, line those up, and there's two on the sides. And make sure we have it over the prongs up on the top here. And then we can work it in along the bottom, which it is, and reinstall our 4 screws on the top. All right, with all this snugged up, we can now bring in our trim piece again. So first step will be we'll replug in our start-stop button, and then just start working our way around this truck. There it goes right under now. And it's clipped in all the way. We'll push our lower panel back in here, which is now locked back in. We'll make sure our tray can still slide, which it can. Now we're gonna fire the truck up. So I had 500 miles to empty. And this is a long bed truck, so it's gonna default for a short bed. So it thinks I went from the factory 34 gallon to a 60 gallon in a short bed. So my mileage to empty jumped quite a bit. This is a long bed, so we went from a factory 48 to our 68 gallon. So it shouldn't be scaling, you know, close to double. It should really only be like a 30% increase on this one, or 40% increase. So I'm gonna hold the back and down button, which is gonna say 60. I'm gonna hold back and up. It's gonna show 68. And that means that we're on for a 68 gallon tank. So 707 miles is the right number. If you have a short bed or you wanted to switch back and forth, it'll show you the gallon size. So for a 68 gallon tank, we'll leave it at 68. You don't have to mess with anything else. Your fuel mileage now, I went up from about 505 miles to 707 miles, which is accurate for the 68 gallon tank in this 24 long bed truck. So that's all there is to the install. Let us know if you have any questions. Thanks for your time.